Chevrolet Camaro. The second-generation Chevrolet Camaro was produced by Chevrolet from 1970 through the 1981 model years. It was introduced in the spring of 1970. Build information for Model 123 12487 was released to the assembly plants in February of that same year. It was longer, lower, and wider than the first-generation Camaro. A convertible body type was no longer available. GM engineers have said the second generation is much more of a driver's car than its predecessor. Dubbed Super Hugger, the second-generation Camaro was developed without the rush of the first generation and benefited from a greater budget justified by the success of the first generation. Although it was an all-new car, the basic mechanical layout of the new Camaro was familiar, engineered much like its predecessor with a unibody structure utilizing a front subframe, A-arm and coil spring front suspension, and rear leaf springs. The chassis and suspension of the second generation were greatly refined in both performance and comfort. Base models offered significant advances in soundproofing, ride isolation, and road holding. Extensive experience Chevrolet engineers had gained racing the first generation led directly to advances in second generation Camaro steering, braking, and balance. Although it began its run with a number of high-performance configurations, as the 1970s progressed, the Camaro grew less powerful, succumbing, like many production cars of the era, to the pressures of tightening emissions regulations and a fuel crisis. Major styling changes were made in 1974 and 1978. 1981 was the final model year for the second-generation Camaro.